transportation funded through various departments' utility expense accounts.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Ramage, Councilman Daniels. Supported by Councilwoman Daniels. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. Yes, have a motion carried. That brings us to open business, and as the customary practice, we go to elected officials first, and then if any members of the audience would like to speak, I will recognize you at that time.
Chairman,
Councilwoman Brandon.
I had a couple of things that I wanted to address. After the last meeting, I sent an email to all the council members and asked them not to respond there. So basically, during my time here, in the 2 years that I've been here, I've had a couple of instances where I feel like I'm not I'm not getting heard. And when I go to the corporation council, sometimes we disagree. And he is an attorney, and I just a city council person, I understand that he's an attorney and I'm not. But I do think that as many times as I disagree with some of the issues, it's a problem for me. So I had sent an email to everyone that I would ask this council again. I asked in the beginning if we would consider adding another council for legal counsel for the council purposes, not to get rid of Mr. Plato because he's a fine lawyer. I'm just saying that I disagree with some of the opinions, and so I wanted to reach out to the council people, and I did that. And when I brought this up a few years ago, or last year, when it was starting to happen, I was told, well, if you bring it to the council and we'll talk about it. And I did that, and I talked to Mr. Plato about it, and I talked to the chairman, and he had suggested some things that I was going, that I should bring forward, how I could bring it forward for myself. So I just wanted to be upfront about that. And what I'm talking about, where I feel like the rules, don't apply the same in different situations. For instance, it seems like when I make a motion up here, or we're talking about something, if someone calls a question, okay, so someone will say, I call the question. So since we had so much talk about Robert's rules, I'd like to ask the chairman, and the corporation council, what do you think the rule is on that? And I know the rules are subjective, but they can't be subjective that, they work when you agree with them, but they don't work when you don't, okay? So I think shutting down debate isn't fair to all the council people. So I would ask the chairman, I know that you're good at the parliamentary stuff. Would you say that you need to take a vote when you call the question?
Councilwoman, I don't think that's germane to.
I do, it's germane to me.
Well, it's not germane to what you're proposing,
No,
which
this
is
is
having.
my proposal.
Well, what I believe is going to be, what you said is going to be the motion.
Okay.
But certainly, I think I've handled that motion the same as with anybody that has made that motion. And know that you're certainly aware that a motion to call the question can either be supported or denied by the council. And at that point in time, calling the question ends debate, and then you go to a vote on the motion.
To the chair, if I may.
Yes,
If Councilwoman Brandon would like an opinion on the issue of calling the question, that would be certainly happy to provide it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that being said, and no, I don't really want an opinion, because an opinion is just that. It's just a piece of paper where someone says their opinion on it, right? So I really don't.
Wait, I beg to differ with you. The opinion from Corporation Council is more than just a piece of paper with
Right.
words on it.
But you said yourself that the rules are they're like a guideline, right? So, but if we're going to use the Robert's rules as a guideline, I think we should follow them.
We do follow them.
Okay.
So
Chairman, may I?
no, I want to be certain that, when people say that we're not following the rules,
Okay.
we are. And Councilwoman, I honestly don't know where
I'm
the
just saying
overall discussion. I will say that you have been recognized once want to allow all council members to be
I'm not
recognized.
done.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So it says in Robert's rules, previous question, to stop debate and immediately take the vote. Needs a second, it's not amendable, it's not debatable, and it requires a 2/3 vote to adopt. And I have it right here, Robert's rules, you have to take a vote on it. And the reason you have to take a vote on it is because it takes the members right away. The motion requires a 2/3 vote to close debate. And we do this all the time, so, you know, we're talking about stuff and then all of a sudden it's call the question. Okay, so, and some people are still talking. So it should be recognized that we're all equal up here and we have a right to say what we think. And so if we're gonna follow the rules and have special meetings about rules, then we should follow the rules. Okay, and that is a definite rule. And I don't understand why we don't do that. Okay, so then the next thing that I want to discuss, and everybody has their own opinion, of course, but we decided to go by Robert's rules, and that's what we should do. We can't just say we're not going to do it when we don't want to, or it doesn't agree with us, and then when we do agree with them, then we're going to use it. So it should be across the board, in my opinion. Okay? Second, the biggest thing I have about wanting another council to help up here, not totally just, you know, do away with anybody else's right. I just think that one of the main jobs of a council person is to do the budget. Okay, and I had a conversation with Mr. Plato on Friday. May I ask you, Mr. Plato, what did you tell me about when I said that's like 95% of my job? And I believe that you told me that I don't have the right to change the budget. I can only vote yes or no. Is that correct?
I don't remember having that conversation. I believe you had that conversation with
No, I
the
just talked
city's labor attorney.
No, that was about a contract. I talked to you about the budget, and that's what you said. I don't have a right to change the budget. That's what you said in our budget hearings, and that's what you said again to me on Friday. Do you agree? Do I have a right to change the budget?
Well, if you want an opinion on that, I'll give
I've
you.
asked you for an opinion several
No,
times.
well, you have not asked for a written opinion.
I
will
have.
have to give you a written opinion on that issue.
Okay, so I do. I've been on council for 10 years. We do have a right to change the budget, in my opinion. That's why we're here. We're to get the budget, study it, figure out where we want things in and out of the budget. That's always the way that I proceeded it. I've been told on no less than 5 occasions that I do not have that right. Now here, I have an opinion, a published opinion, from a city that has the exact same charter language as us, verbatim, word for word, okay, on the budget, okay? So what this published opinion says is that we do have a right, and it was signed by 3 Court of Appeals judges, and you can go online and look it up. We do have a right to change the budget. That is our right. That's what we're up here for, to review it, and we might not change it, but we certainly have a right to take things out and put things in. And I'm not an attorney, but this is attorneys and judges, and it's a legal, published opinion. And the words regarding the budget in our charter are the exact words for it in this opinion. It's not an opinion, it's a published publication. And I'll leave one for everyone, so I just feel that takes my rights away as a council person. And Mr. Plato was a very nice man, and I don't disagree with him on all things, but these couple of things are pretty important. I feel like that my right to speak on an issue, that closing debate is not fair or correct. I think that my job as a council person is one of the biggest things is to study the budget, make changes where I feel appropriate, and if the council agrees, that's what's adopted. Not that you can only vote yes or no. That's totally taken away all my powers. We're supposed to have separation of powers up here. There's an executive branch and there's a legislative branch. That doesn't mean the executive branch brings it to you and you have to say yes or no and that's your only option. That is not true. And I invite you to tell me differently in a written opinion.
To the chair, if I may.
Mr. Plato.
I would be happy and will provide all the council with a written opinion on that issue. I know the case you're referring to, the Court of Appeals Appeals case. It involves the city of Warren. It's an unpublished case.
Published, right here. Published. The published case.
Please allow Mr. Plato to speak.
You know, what it says on the record, if this opinion indicates it's for publication, it does indicate it's for publication. Okay, so this is the case you're referring to from December 2022. And I'm familiar with that opinion, and that would certainly be involved in my analysis of the situation. I'm also aware there's a Michigan Supreme Court decision that seems to say just the opposite. So somehow we'd have to reconcile the Supreme Court, which obviously is the Supreme Court of the land of Michigan, with this opinion of the Michigan Court of Appeals.
Chairman,
Councilwoman Brandon?
this opinion says in pertinent part, the charter does not limit plaintiff, which is the city council, to merely affirm or reject the defendant's, which is the mayor, recommended budget. Rather, under the charter, plaintiff may enact any budget so long as it otherwise complies with the law.
And I believe in all instances, that is what the council has done the entire time that I've been here. I remember one time when we were first on the council, when you were first on the council, Councilman Lambrand, later Mayor Lambrand, proposed a complete substitute to the mayor's budget, and that was passed. It was subsequently replaced, but in order to get a budget passed by the April 1st deadline. So certainly, I don't know where the contention is that the council, as from time to time, has modified budgets. They've passed their own budgets. I know going back to the 70s, my old father drafted up a budget that I believe Mayor Zub did not quite appreciate at the time. But your assertion is exactly how we've operated as a council.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I believe I was told, and I believe it's on tape, that I could not change it. So,
Well, one individual certainly cannot
no,
change it.
I mean, well,
Certainly, the council,
it was vetoed.
well, it can be vetoed, and then the council would have to override the veto. But until the council passes a budget, and by state law and our charter, are held to have a budget passed by a certain amount of time. I don't know thus far that we've ever been in a circumstance when we got to that deadline and didn't have an approved budget. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say something real quick. So what I basically just heard is that Mr. Plato doesn't give you the opinion that you agree with, so therefore you want a new lawyer. I can tell you this, that Mr. Plato has given me many opinions that I don't like. Doesn't mean I maybe don't agree with them, because it's more about not liking, and I think that's the situation that you're referring to. My issue is that I want a lawyer that will tell me you can't do that, or you have to do it this way. That's why we brought him in here the last term, because that wasn't happening before. And then we had another issue where it was clearly evident that the lawyer that we had didn't represent the city council. We had a document to prove that. So at the end of the day, not agreeing with somebody, especially somebody that's been practicing law for 40, 50 years, I don't always like the opinion either. But you know what? He's a lawyer. I'm not. And I'm going to listen to that. Now, the other thing I'm hearing you use the word power, 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 power. From day one I walked in here, I've tried to preach nothing but teamwork. I learned after 3 or 4 months, a majority of you did not want to do that. And I continue to do that. I continue to sit back and not say anything just to keep the peace. I don't want to get into this power match. And I was hoping it would never come to do that. If we want to go back to 10, 12 years ago, the way it was here, that's exactly that's what's happening already. And I've been sitting back trying not to be calm and not get loud about it. It's up to you. We can work together or we can continue to fight over power. At the end of the day, all that matters is the city of Taylor and moving it forward. And whether anybody likes it or not, I hate to say this, but the city of Taylor voted for me to lead this city. And they also voted on you to protect the city, to make sure I don't go crazy. And that's the process. And that's what we're continuing to do. But all these little side grudge matches are getting ridiculous. And they're affecting the day-to-day output of the city of Taylor, not only in City Hall, but all the departments. And the employees are feeling it, not just the residents. And it needs to stop. in my opinion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any further open business?
To the chair, if I may.
Mr. Plato?
When I took this position as Corporation Counsel for Taylor, I made it very clear to both the mayor and his administration and to the city council that from time to time, when you're going to ask me for an opinion, you're going to get an opinion that you won't like and you won't agree with. But I will only give this council and mayor opinions that I believe are supported by Michigan law and by the charter of the city of Taylor. Because if I have to go to court and defend some opinion that I've given, I want to have the law on my side. I have no reason to give an opinion that's not supported by the law. And my job here is to protect the city as a whole, and protect this council and the administration and the taxpayers, to make sure that we're not subject to lawsuits, to make sure that we don't do something we're not supposed to do, and I will continue to do that.